Let's just do it with question number 1. And question number 1 today comes to us from Russ, who writes, "Hi, John. I'm a big fan." Thank you so much, Russ. "As good as it is that we now have more female lead films, is it lazy that the studios are doing films been done already?" You probably meant have been done already, but with women, for example, Ghostbusters and Ocean's 8. All right, thanks a lot for the question, Russ. I'm going to say right off the top, no, it's not lazy. It's not lazy at all. Okay, first of all, would it be lazy if all female-led movies now were just some reduxes or sequels or reboots done with female casts? Well, even then, maybe no. But the fact of the matter is, this year, the vast majority of female-led films this year are just original films, right? Or sequels. We got Crazy Rich Asians. We got Annihilation. We've got Red Sparrow, Tomb Raider, Mamma Mia, Alita Battle Angel, A Wrinkle in Time, Proud Mary. I mean, we've had lots of female-led movies this year that are not sequels or remakes or whatever or reboots of other films that had male leads and now are doing it with female leads. But I will say this also. Even if you do a reboot, but this time, look, every reboot changes some things. Every remake changes something, right? It's not like very, very, very rarely do you get a remake that's just a shot-for-shot remake, because what's the point of that? You have to bring something new elements to it that freshen it up and make it a little bit different, make it stand out from the original. So for them to say revisit a reboot, and by the way, tons of remakes come out that if they had female leads before, they have female leads now. And if they had male leads before, well, then they have male leads now. Most of them, the vast majority of them do that. But we have seen a couple of examples. Ocean's 8, which is not a remake, it's a sequel per se. It's more like a shared cinematic universe thing with Ocean's 11. Ghostbusters is a good example. There's another movie coming later this year called The Hustle, which is a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which itself was a remake of an older film. But anyway, so there's that as well. But those are the minority of films with female leads coming out this day. I would contend this. It is lazy to not change the gender. It's actually more lazy to not change the gender. It's like, hey, we're doing a reboot of this. Oh, yeah? We'll just do exactly what they had before. That's more lazy. And I would contend this. There's no reason not to do it. Like, there's no reason not to change the genders. There's no reason not to. Like, I remember I had this argument with somebody once that Ghostbusters, which, let's say we're specifically talking about Ghostbusters, but it could have been about any other movie, and said, the bad thing about Ghostbusters is they didn't need to make it, there was no need to make it female leads. I said, okay, yeah, that's true. There was no need to make them female leads. But there was no need to make them male leads either. And if the only argument you have to say that they have to be male leads is because that's what they did before, well, then that's the lazy thing. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. I got no problem with remakes that do it, with the same genders of characters that they had before. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to talk about something that's lazy, that's the lazy approach. I have no problem with it because there's nothing that's said. In doing a Ghostbusters movie, when you look at the story of Ghostbusters, there's nothing in it that requires you to have male leads. Those characters could have been female, so why not do it female? Unless you give me a valid argument other than because it's what they did before, there's no reason not to. There's no reason to do it, but there's no reason not to do it. So who cares if they make them female leads or male leads? I mean, that's just the way I look at it. Who cares? What difference does it make? And I would suggest that the people who raise the loudest fuss about it and who make a stink about it, they're the ones with the agenda. Doing a remake, but by the way, 95% of remakes that come out keep gender roles exactly as they are. Every once in a while, a filmmaker wants to mix it up. Okay. There's no reason it needed to be male, no reason it needed to be female. It'd be lazier just to keep it the same gender before, so they mix it up and try it with the women. I would suggest that the people who are screaming agenda are actually the ones with the agenda. But anyway, that's just kind of the way I see it. So that's my thoughts on that. All right, let's move on to topic number 2.